Hey guys, we're Belinda95, recording live from York County Prison Cell. Before I get started, I do want to say that I've decided against doing a Link versus Cloud Part 2 fight prediction. For anyone who doesn't know, that's the next episode of Death Battle. That's the, is a... I know they're going to use Breath of the Wild Link and remake Cloud and everything, but, it's anyone's guess as to what they're going to pull out if it's an actual rematch. And, as far as if it's a remake where it's going to be the same result, I wouldn't want to do a prediction on that anyway because, well, it's going to be the same result. So I'm just going to do a regular analysis video. As for the matchup itself, this is one that I had seen a lot and I hadn't done because one of the shows I'd never really considered death battle adjacent. I never really considered any of the characters to be death battle eligible. And the other show I just hadn't seen. And after watching both of them again, I figured, you know what? Yeah, I can do something with this. So this is going to be Eda Clawthorne from the Owl House versus Chariot du Nord or Ursula Castilli, something, her last name. I don't know. Chariot. I'm just going to call her Chariot throughout the thing. From Little Witch Academia. The comment I know I'm going to get is that it should be this character from Owl House versus this character from... Well, here's the reason I'm doing it this way. These two, throughout the series, at least at this point, are the most powerful characters in the series. In their peak. Yeah, the Emperor is stated to be more powerful than Eda, but we don't know anything about him. We don't actually really know any of his abilities yet. Or at least we definitely don't know his peak. So I wouldn't put him in a fight right now. Down the line, there can probably be an opponent for him. But right now, Eda, we know she's got kind of the All Might thing going on, where early on in the series, she's kind of, out of commission. So we've seen everything she's done beforehand. So we know her. We know the height and we know the peak of the character from very early on. Same with Chariot, I guess, technically, but Chariot kind of comes back. So we know both of these characters in their entirety, despite one of the shows only having one season. Well, both shows actually only have one season. Academia just ended in one season. So yeah, I'm not going to do Luz versus Akko or anything. This would be the fight I think would happen between these two series. For the time being. So, starting with Eda. And like I said earlier, I'm going to be using, both characters at their peak. So, Eda not having powers wouldn't, at the end of season 1, spoilers, wouldn't be something I'd consider. So, Eda is, aside from the Emperor, I suppose, stated as being the most powerful witch in the Boiling Isles. She pretty much, over all differing types of magic, due to not joining a guild, essentially. I don't know if it was referred to as a guild, but due to not joining any affiliation, she can do all types of magic, and she has more or less mastered all types of magic, making her an insanely powerful witch, right? She can do all different types of elemental magic with lightning, fire, ice, earth, things like that. She's made giant stone pillars appear out of the ground. She can create portals. She can fly. She can create light from nothing. She can, and also she's been able to survive decapitation, and not only survive it, but have her her head and dismembered arms act completely autonomously from the rest of her body, while decapitated. So her arm would get cut off and it can still move around like Thing from the fucking Addams Family. Um She's been able to possess other people's bodies, switch bodies with other people. She's been able to like just like every create illusions, show recordings of things via magic. Just every type of magic she has done, she's mastered. And in combat, like she's used all those in combat before. Just like general barrier magic, uh, giant beams of energy, increasing her own physical attributes, like increasing her strength and speed, and things like that. So Eda is a very proficient witch. The one caveat to that, and this is the one downside I would include, is that she was cursed at a young age, because that would have been before her peak. So to have her at her peak, the curse would have to be in play, right? The curse she was given was that if she um, uses too much of her magic, she will transform into an owl monster and kind of go into like a mindless rage, right? And this is like, I think it's like a 10 or something foot tall owl monster. It can move almost silently. It can do all this, It's just a big scary monster, and it requires an elixir to heal. Though later in the series it stopped, but point is, she can only use so much magic before that becomes inevitable. Um, On to Chariot. I'm gonna be like I said, I'm gonna be calling her Chariot and not Ursula because it gets confusing after a while. But um, so Chariot's magic is described as the magic of the stars, which doesn't really have a specific explanation. Like I would think it was like because she's also an astrologist, but I would think that you know like oh like I'm thinking like Saint Seiya type stuff. Not really. I mean, she's done levitation. She's created, light projected, like hard light constructs. She's transformed herself, like she's given herself wings and made herself into a centaur. She's, again, beams of energy, barriers, light orbs, which can be made to explode or can be used as like platforms. She's also increased her own physical attributes using magic to the point where she can like kick through walls and jump like dozens of feet in the air. She can also fly. She's used um like all this other like energy manipulation magic, and she's also been able to tell the future and whatnot. The main thing I remember, and this is what I would think would be the height of her performance, would be the shiny arc, right? The bow. It was a spell that was so, or it was a magical attack that was so, uh, like devastating that it had damaged the surface of the moon, while also draining the magic of everyone in the vicinity. So that would probably be her peak then, I would think. And yeah, she loses the arc, and she's not able to like use it after that point. But like I said, we're taking the characters at their peak. She would have the shiny arc. She would at least be able to use it, even if she would lose it afterwards. So, who wins in this fight then? At first, I was very tempted to say Eda because, like, again, nothing seems to be able to kill her. Like I said, decapitation. She's been like fried. She's been not literally fried, but like like hit with magical energy. She's been, she's been like she's near indestructible. But I kind of realized that all of that is only possible due to magic. Like her being able to survive decapitation and everything. That's magic. That's not like a natural ability she has attributed to her. So Chariot not only seems to have a higher power output, though it's not. Chariot's base power output doesn't seem to be too much bigger than Eda, right? These two seem to be about equal in terms of like speed, strength, and magic potency, with the exception being that, like I said, Eda is nigh indestructible. Right? That would give her the advantage, except for the specific nature of the shiny arc. Not only did it do the greatest magic feat that we'd seen in Little Witch, right? And probably trumps anything that I think has ever happened in Owl House, too. Being, like, hitting the moon. It also, very specifically, drains the magic of those in the vicinity, except for the wielder. So I would assume that draining Eda's magic, right, that, would affect her curse, making it so that, she doesn't have any more magic to use, right? So if she uses any more, then she'll turn into the... And Chariot's also fought monsters, probably, I would say way worse than the owl monster. And from what we've seen, I don't believe we've ever seen the owl monster have the same healing attribute as Eda does naturally, which is why I think makes me think it's magic. So basically, the invulnerability that Eda has has a limit because it uses magic, and the transformation into the owl monster isn't really too much of a threat to Chariot. And just with the power output of the shiny arc and the fact that it would also drain Eda's magic so that she wouldn't be able to do anything to counter it, or she wouldn't be able to she might not be able to survive it if she can't use the magic to, reconstitute herself. Or if it turns her into the monster while draining, then I think Chariot ends up winning this. So really it comes down to these characters are very similar. Both have power moves. One of these power moves happens to just kind of cancel out the other. And I think that's what we're looking at. So for this fight, I would say Shiny Chariot. One more thing I want to say before I say bye is that after 7 or 8 years of having this YouTube channel, and having a Twitter, I've finally integrated them both. So here I am. I'm gonna plug myself. Follow me on Twitter at VerbalEngine95. Anyway, VerbalEngine95. See ya.